Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Lionsgate, AI, and animation. And yeah, it sounded like they signed a deal with Runway. I think that's the company that does the prompt to animation. But they're going to be working with them, and it looks like a lot more animation jobs are going to be chopped because of it.
Okay, so they're saying they want to eliminate storyboard artists and VFX crews. Okay, the storyboard artists they might be able to eliminate with Runway, but I do not think VFX crews are in any danger anytime soon.
We shall see. So before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Yeah, woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
Got to give a hat tip to our friend Sarah who sent this over. And we knew about the Lionsgate thing. We knew that they were basically like selling the rights to their library. And I think we're going to see more of this with Hollywood studios. They're just going to be like, yeah, you can train your AI with our movies. And you know, for animation especially, because everything looks like bizarre animation, you know, when you run it through AI. But yeah, it's just the speed at which this is all happening is crazy. This comes from Cartoon Brew. Lionsgate signs a deal with AI company Runway. Hopes that AI can eliminate storyboard artists and VFX crews.
Now, to be fair, I can hear a lot of people on this animation board screaming their heads off because like everybody and their brother was going to move to Hollywood to be a storyboard artist.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many people are like, I'm going to go be a storyboard artist. It's like you couldn't swing a dead cat without hitting someone who's a storyboard artist. So those people are going to be really worried right now.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. I mean, you know, you couldn't foresee this happening 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I mean, 5 years ago, they were talking during the pandemic. They were like, yeah, animators have more job security than anyone in Hollywood at this point because we're going to go all in on animation. And they're like, hey there, AI, that's pretty sexy. We don't have to deal with these people. And we get to crank, yeah, and consumers, they don't care. Yeah, okay, cool. We're just going to do that. Yeah, so the company announced a first-of-its-kind partnership with Runway to create and train an exclusive new AI model based on its portfolio of film and TV content. Lionsgate's exclusive model will be used to generate what it calls cinematic video, which can be further iterated using Runway's technology. The goal is to save money, millions and millions of dollars, according to the vice chairman. Montgomery Burns. Oh no, Michael Burns. By having filmmakers.
It's still Mr. Burns either way.
It's still Mr. Burns. Oh my God, their vice chairman's Mr. Burns. By having filmmakers and creators use its AI model to replace artists in production tasks such as storyboarding.
Yes, like I'm serious, guys. I can't tell you. We worked on webcomics and in art fields and stuff. The number of people who are like, I'm going to be a storyboard artist, or I'm a storyboard artist, or what. I'm just like, it was. If anybody said they were going to move to go work in animation, your first thing was storyboard artist, you know?
Yeah, pretty much.
It was so much so that.
Mr. Burns said the AI will be used to develop cutting-edge, capital-efficient content creation opportunities.
Capital efficient. That's a funny way of saying it. Several
of our filmmakers are already excited about its potential applications to their pre-production and post-production processes.
The ones that they know will still have jobs?
Yes. So that was kind of, and we told you that was going to happen during the strike. We said, yes, those of you who are left will get a little bit more money. But a lot of you are going to be gone, and that's what's going to happen in this case. And they're looking at this like, yeah, just think of all those union workers we don't have to pay. And right now, what I'm seeing, and you know, I do have friends that are on different animation discords. You know, they send us stuff here and there, and a lot of them are like, "This is why we need to unionize, guys, to stop this from happening." I'm like, "Oh, my sweet summer child, it's already happened. Mm-hmm. It already happened. They're not going to tell you what they're doing. They're just going to do it." I'm sorry. I am sorry. I'm not, you know, I'm just saying, like, all these people are like, we're better than you. We're animators. We're artists. It's like, nah, you better learn how to bag groceries because that's probably what's going to happen.
Burns also told the Wall Street Journal that he envisions the tool as a way to eventually replace VFX artists.
Yep.
That's eventually. I mean, that's a long ways off. Once the model will be used to create backgrounds and special effects. Yeah, because we're talking about putting them in action movies.
Yeah.
To make it realistic enough for an action movie, yeah, I think that's a ways off yet.
Yeah.
I can see storyboard before I can see that.
So Cartoon Brew claims that Runway is disliked by many members of the creative community and is currently being sued by a group of visual artists for copyright infringement. Lionsgate provided scant details about what content is going to be used to train models or how those materials can be used legally.
It's their content. And they're using their own content to train the models. I would think that would be legal because it's their own content.
Yeah. But the thing is they do specialize mostly in live action. John Wick, Twilight, Hunger Games. They did the Astro Boy movie, Rock Dog, Shaun the Sheep, and Norm of the North. I don't think anybody's going to be
But my thing is, the company,
for that,
if the company owns the stuff,
yeah,
and they own the use of the likenesses and stuff for this stuff, then how's that illegal? Because you're not like scraping somebody else's stuff and feeding it in. You're using your own things that the company owns. And when you worked for them, you did it as a work for hire, and they own it.
So this is what is going to happen. And I mean, it doesn't matter if you like it, if you agree with it or not. It doesn't matter. It's going to happen. It's already happening. You're just not hearing about it yet. All of these studios, every single one of them, DreamWorks, Illumination, DreamWorks already said that they were going to lean more into like AI and outsourcing. Disney, they're going to have their own, and that's what they're talking about, their own proprietary AI model, right? So it's starting with a smaller studio. They're basically going to have their own AI trained to do a lot of the tedious stuff. It's never going to make the movie whole cloth, I don't think. But they're going to be like, yeah, okay, here's the model for this character now. You know, we want to basically just type in this character doing this thing versus having to, you know, every frame of making them do it. We want something, if we're going to do 2D animation, if they still do that, you know. But if we're going to do that, we're going to have something do the in-betweens. We need a cityscape. We've got that programmed in. We got all these models programmed in, and we can just, you know, put some prompts in and make them do whatever. And that eliminates a ton of jobs. Mm-hmm. And they can make movies, instead of it costing $100 to $200 million, it might cost $20 million. And that's all they're looking at. And audiences don't care.
Bottom line. Yeah.
They're not going to care unless the movies are dog shit.
Know. I mean, a lot, if they get it to, well, initially they will, but they might get it to a part you don't even know. And I like this comment with the titles like Astro Boy, Rock Dog, and Norm of the North. You could have tricked me into thinking they were already using AI.
Yeah.
So, you know,
there are going to be a lot fewer jobs for animators, but also the playing field is going to be leveled. You're going to have, again, you know, groups of people, 5-6 people that can put out a Hollywood level production with the help of AI.
They're also trained to have the AI work for them too, because you have to know how to get it to do what you want as well. But it's going to be a lot of people who are not artists.
Well, here Patty points it out, and I'm sorry. I am sorry. We're not
like cheering for this. We're just saying this is what's going to happen.
This is what's going to happen. You need to be 2 steps ahead. She said, so the people who have gone to school and made art a focal point of their lives are just tossed aside for money. Shame on you, Lionsgate, for putting the dollar ahead of people. Just because there's a cheaper way to do business doesn't mean you should go down that path. Ask your executives if they should be replaced with robots. They'd probably save you money. It'd save more money than replacing your artist. And
probably true.
I don't disagree with that, but it doesn't change the fact that it's going to happen. And at the end of the day, these executives answer to boards and shareholders. And if they can make, you know, Disney, for example, the Inside Out 2, if they can make $1.5 billion off of a movie that cost 1/10 of what it cost to produce Inside Out 2, because they had to do a lot of last minute stuff, they're going to do it because then they can go to their board and their shareholders be like, look, record profits. Mm-hmm. Record profits.
Then they get big bonuses.
Yeah. Now, what will change it is if the audience, and it all depends on the audience, if the audience is like, yeah, this is dog shit, we're not paying for these movies.
Somebody else said, too, they said a company I will now be boycotting, as well as not purchasing any of their previous content. Hit them in the wallet, folks, because that's all they care about. Totally. That's exactly that's it. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. That was in agreement to what you were saying.
Career suicide for whoever came up with this decision. Sounds like they bought into the tech without understanding how it works. Well, here's riddle me this. And this is the same with like NFTs and blockchain, all the stuff that artists have decided are bad, just unilaterally, regardless of how it's applied. Do you know how AI actually works? Do you know how Bitcoin actually works? Do you know how blockchain actually works, or what it actually does? Because just because you're talking about blockchain doesn't mean we're talking about, you know, Bored Ape NFT scams or anything like that. Just because we're talking about, you know, AI or what they're calling AI, you know, it's not true AI, but are basically, you know, more advanced computer assist tools. And the same thing was said, and I do remember a time, same thing was said when people started using digital tools to draw with, when they started using computers to animate with. I remember people that were in the 2D animation space being like 3D animation is never going to replace hand-drawn animation because, the audience won't like it. It looks fake, but they got better, got a lot better. And now it's the standard. So, I mean, it doesn't matter if you like it or not. And I'm not trying to be a dick, but I'm old enough to have seen these things. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. It's happening.
Well, there's someone said down here talking about how they're being sued by the creative community for copyright infringement, and they said I have to disagree with the article but not because it's claims that run away in creative community conflict. That's true, but because tools being disliked by a group of people throughout history has never been a legal requirement for their actual existence.
Yeah,
basically, what you said.
Yeah, just because you don't like the march of technology because it means that your job is going to be redundant or eliminated doesn't mean they're going to stop for you. They're not going to, because the thing is, if they don't do it, their rivals are going to do it. And very few companies are going to be like, yeah, we're just not going to do that because it makes people feel bad. Guess what? You're going to go out of business.
Well, there's a reason why all these venture capitalists are spending millions and billions of dollars on AI. I'm with you. I don't think it's right. I don't think people should be replaced. But I'm just saying this is the reality of the situation.
Well, I actually agree with C.S. Fawcett here, too. The problem with your theory is a calculator allows someone an easier way to solve an existing mathematical equation, but can't actually create the equation. Joe Jones can't walk up to a blank chalkboard with his calculator and suddenly come up with a new theory for why gravity functions the way it does. Yeah, but you can actually solve especially if you have a scientific calculator, you can solve equations that only a professor or a physicist could have solved decades ago with a calculator in your pocket. Look at all the things you could do with your cell phone that were completely unimaginable just 20 years ago, 30 years ago. You've got a more powerful computer in your pocket than what they used to send men to the moon.
And you call everybody bigot with it.
You've got the world's knowledge in your pocket, and we've never been dumber. So I'm saying it's a tool. Since I've been watching Star Trek, there was an episode of I know you're rolling your eyes, geekies over here rolling your eyes, like everything's related to Star Trek now. No, there was an episode where all the children on the Enterprise got kidnapped, and they were trying to train them to do different things in this plant, and the one kid was like using a tool to make a dolphin statue, and he's like, I didn't do it, the tool did. It's like, no, you actually did it. This is what you were feeling. The tool just helped you realize it. And I think in the right hands, it's going to be a very powerful tool. It'll be a very powerful tool, but yeah, like you were saying, there are going to be fewer hands needed. But to be honest, we have a lot of bloat. There's a lot of bloat and a lot of people that are just kind of just biding time, and I don't know, guys. It's scary. We're gonna wrap this up. I think you're just like rolling your eyes. You're like, I don't really care. But look, just because you hate it doesn't mean it's gonna stop. I'm sorry. Always, any creative field, make sure you have a backup career. That's all we're saying. Gonna wrap this up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.
Bye.
Join the reef. Go to clownfish-.com. That's clownfish-.com. You will get exclusive access to podcasts and videos and comic strips and more, as well as merch discounts. Check it out. If you were a member, you could get this t-shirt, this dismal t-shirt, on our website. You'd get a 10% discount on that. You can also join in the community on clownfish-.com. Thank you so much for the support.